It was supposed to be an ultimate adventure, descending into the abyss to touch history at the Titanic's resting place. But what began as a daring dive aboard the Titan submersible ended in tragedy that stunned the world. In June 2023, 5 lives were lost in a catastrophic implosion deep beneath the Atlantic, raising urgent questions about technology, safety, and the limits of human exploration. Titan wasn't just a vessel. It was a symbol of ambition, innovation, and risk. So, today, let's explore the whole story of Titan, from its unconventional design and mission goals to the fatal dive and the global response. With insights from expert investigations and verified sources, let's see what went wrong and what the world must learn from it. OceanGate pitched Titan as a way to give a small number of passengers an intimate, direct experience of the deep sea, specifically the wreck of the RMS Titanic. Since the discovery of the Titanic wreck in 1985, the wreck had been visited by research submersibles and a few tourist expeditions. The site had become a unique destination that attracted scientific interest, filmmakers, and wealthy tourists. OceanGate's CEO, Stockton Rush, framed the Titanic as the most recognizable underwater landmark. When people think underwater, they think of Titanic alongside sharks and whales. So Titan was marketed not simply as a vehicle, but as a tool to survey and record the wreck site and to construct a 3-dimensional model of the debris field. Technically, Titan was notable because it was the first completed crewed submersible to use a hull made from both titanium and carbon fiber composite materials, while claiming an impressive 4,000-meter operating depth. If realized in a safe, certified way, such advances could broaden access to deep ocean sites and supply new data for science and exploration. During 2018 and 2019, Titan underwent testing dives to its intended maximum depth. Those tests revealed problems. The original composite hull developed fatigue damage. The damage was serious enough that by 2021, the original composite hull had been replaced. That decision to repair and continue operating the submersible is a central technical detail in the narrative, as composite materials behave differently than metals under repeated cycles of extreme pressure. Replacing the hull allowed OceanGate to proceed with excursions to the Titanic site, carrying paying customers in 2021 and 2022. Those cruises established OceanGate as an active provider in the market of high-end underwater tourism, and Titan as a visible symbol of private deep-sea exploration. Now, on the 18th of June 2023, Titan departed for a dive to the Titanic wreck with 5 people aboard. Those people included Hamish Harding, Shahzada Dawood, his son Suleiman Dawood, Titanic expert Paul-Henri Nargeolet, and OceanGate founder Stockton Rush, who was the submersible's pilot as well. Communication with the submersible was lost during its descent about 320 nautical miles south-southeast off the coast of Newfoundland. When Titan failed to return as scheduled, OceanGate contacted authorities and reported the situation to the United States Coast Guard. Eventually, a massive international search and rescue operation started quickly, drawing naval assets, aircraft, remotely operated vehicles, ROVs, and commercial search resources from multiple countries. But despite the scale of the response, the search concluded tragically. On 22nd June 2023, debris from Titan was discovered roughly 500 meters from the bow of the Titanic. Investigators concluded that the submersible had imploded. Certainly at the time, communication was lost during descent, killing all 5 on board instantly. The cause of the implosion was the subject of formal investigation, and experts pointed to the carbon fiber composite used in the hull as a plausible weak point that could have cracked under deep-sea pressure. The public reaction unfolded broadly and quickly. Social media lit up with commentary, analysis, and a wave of grim humor. Internet memes circulated that mocked OceanGate's construction choices. Many observers condemned those memes as insensitive. At the same time, the tragedy invited intense and often polarized public scrutiny of the vessel, its engineering, and the organizational culture of its owner. Concerns about Titan were not raised only by armchair critics after the incident. Industry experts, former colleagues, friends of Stockton Rush, and some OceanGate employees had warned about safety issues before the 2023 expedition. The pattern of warnings and the company's response became a central theme in the post-incident investigations. The U.S. Coast Guard's investigation documented serious safety concerns and highlighted an organizational culture that stifled dissent. The report characterized OceanGate's workplace as toxic and found that safety warnings were at times suppressed. The investigation assigned responsibility to identifiable practices and decisions at OceanGate, concluding that Stockton Rush exhibited negligence that contributed to the deaths and that he had created a false impression of Titan's safety. In effect, the board said that decisions at the top had downplayed risk, resisted conventional safety practices, and discouraged challenges from staff who might have raised alarms. One consistent point raised by critics and whistleblowers was the decision to forego independent certification, known in the industry as classing. Classing subjects vessels to third-party engineering review and testing to verify that materials, structural design, and systems meet established standards. Former OceanGate employees and documentary interviews later described that Rush viewed regulation and third-party oversight as impediments to innovation, and that he resisted classing for Titan. Multiple government agencies and independent bodies launched investigations into the Titan implosion. The United States and Canada opened federal probes on 23 June 2023, joined soon after by France and the United Kingdom. The U.S. Coast Guard's Marine Board issued a final report on August 5, 2025, calling the Titan disaster a preventable tragedy. The report detailed operational and cultural failings at OceanGate and assigned responsibility at senior management levels. Moreover, the tragedy and its surrounding controversies became the focus of multiple documentaries and media examinations. A 2024 ABC special looked at the implosion and raised questions about how the disaster unfolded. Channel 5 in the UK broadcasted a two-part documentary that examined the minute-by-minute timeline, the analysis of audio banging signals that briefly suggested survivors might be alive, and interviews with search participants and technical experts who had previously raised concerns. Netflix released a documentary titled Titan: The OceanGate Disaster in June 2025 that included interviews with former employees and whistleblowers, government officials, and subject matter experts. These films converged on similar themes: the tension between innovation and regulation, warnings that were dismissed, and a leadership style that prized speed and personal vision over established safety checks. All technical analysis and cultural critique ultimately orbit a central human tragedy. 5 lives were lost when Titan imploded. The loss reverberated through families, communities, and the small, tightly knit global community of deep-sea explorers and submersible workers. That grieving process overlapped with a public appetite for explanation, which in turn sometimes produced callous online commentary and memes that many found deeply offensive. Beyond immediate grief, the incident has had reputational and legal consequences for OceanGate, prompted regulatory scrutiny of non-traditional operators in high-risk environments, and sparked reflection across the expedition and tourism industries about how to balance entrepreneurial initiative with rigorous, independent safety oversight. So the Titan submersible tragedy is a sober reminder of the ocean's power and the responsibilities that come with pushing human presence into extreme environments. The technical cause, an implosion tied to composite hull failure and insufficient independent verification points to clear engineering lessons, while the human and policy dimensions point to a need for better oversight, clearer standards, and honest communication with customers. As exploration continues, the hope is that these lessons will be taken seriously so that the ocean's wonders can be visited with greater safety, respect, and humility. Now, what are your thoughts about this video? Share with us in the comments section below. Also, if you liked this video, share it with your friends and subscribe to our channel for more interesting content.